guys, we've got a new unboxing today. It's the Gigabyte Z87X UD3H. Let's do this.
Alright, it's your boy Nico Mac here, back with some more videos. This time for an unboxing, like you just heard from Charles. It's the Gigabyte Z87X UD3H. Alright, let's get into this. So, what do you get when you first open? You get that fresh smell.
One thing I want to before we start, when I received this package, they just left it outside my house, just outside my door. So I was not impressed by how bad it was, you know, and also the packaging that it came with, just a few odd cardboard, you know, like not something secure. Like my case came perfectly, you know, plastic protectors, but yeah, just one thing that you shouldn't, they should improve on this product is the safety. Yeah, but
yeah, so there you go, Amazon. If you are watching, make sure you deliver people's products properly. If they're not in, maybe give it to a neighbor. I mean, you know this stuff, so why you gotta leave it outside?
Post office, man.
Yeah, man. Anyway, so here is the motherboard. I just put my hand at the bottom there. I'll put that at the side so we can get into that. As you can see, it's got the anti-static covering over there, which is real nice. It looks bigger than I actually thought it would be. Alright, so let's get into the stuff. And already here I can see one of my favorite parts in a computer, in a motherboard. And these new motherboards, is that what I just said before, right? Yeah.
Before we go on, I reckon they should give you like 2 of those and an even longer one, because remember the problem you experienced was Matthew had 2 graphics cards and he bought a 4GB and a 2GB, and the distance between both of them was a bit... Go on, explain the story, man. Explain the story.
Alright, so basically, yeah, I had this similar kind of case where I had this that came with my motherboard. It wasn't long enough for me to connect my 2 graphics cards, but that was my fault. That wasn't their fault. I think it's okay for them to ship this because that was my fault. I bought a 2GB version and a 4GB version. They do work. You can buy an NVIDIA 770, like what I do have is an NVIDIA 770 4GB version, and then an NVIDIA 2GB version of the 770, which is super clocked. They do work hand in hand, but after doing some research, I saw that, you know, you are limiting the 4GB version. You are limiting it to 2GB because the computer uses the available memory according to the memory according to the one that has the least. So if you have paired up maybe a 6GB version with a 1GB, it means that the 6GB version one is only getting 1GB used out of it. So that's your money being wasted right there. Alright, so we continue on with that SLI. Good stuff. Thank you, Gigabyte. You get your user's manual, which is very important. You should always read that. And you get your Gigabyte drivers and utilities.
To tell you about it's better to download it from the website because they have new drivers as well. But obviously you do need to install this one because obviously you're not able to connect to the internet and stuff like that. So obviously as a start off, but obviously update it after you have installed that.
Well, what Charles said was true. Let me just get back to that. What Charles said is true, but a lot of these motherboards nowadays, they have like minimum support for when you connect like your Ethernet cable. It's gonna be able to connect to the internet, and then you can download your drivers.
That's not corrected.
So yeah, great stuff. Then you got your SATA cables over here. I can see through them. I don't have to open them. Yeah, this is that 6 GB per second transfer rate. These are great. They're usually color coded, especially if they give you more than one. But yeah, here's the other but it pretty much looks the same.
Are they different?
In this case, I do not think they're different because this also is 6GB version, and also because the Gigabyte, like we just saw on the case, they say that all the SATA ports support SATA 3, so they support like 6 gigabit per second transfer rate.
What was that book?
Oh yeah, this is the multi-language installation guidebook. So if you're not sure of how you're gonna put your motherboard in, if you're scared of making new moves, just refer to this. All right, you get your badge from the case. which looks pretty nice. Yeah, you just pop that out. Pretty easy to take out. I won't take it out right now. And then lastly, the last piece of documentation is in some other language that I do not speak.
It's like French or Spanish.
It's probably English is probably here somewhere, but yeah, let's not bother with that.
And the most forgotten part to put in, everyone puts their motherboard in and forgets.
Yeah,
At the very last minute.
that's actually very true. A lot of people put in motherboards and they forget to put this. Yeah, it's happened to me once, and yeah, it's you just slap yourself and smack yourself in the face.
I've seen like people have said it's not, it is an essential, but it's one of those things like like you do need it, but at the same time you won't die without it. Okay, yeah, your computer won't die, but what it does, it gives better airflow for the computer. So if you do remove it, it's gonna it's recommended to put that in. And also, it looks neater. It looks like if you just remove, if you don't put it in, it just looks like a child for your PC. But what do you think? Is it obviously it is necessary? But
yeah, I think for me, I think it's very important because a lot of the stuff, like maybe if your house has a lot of bugs, then they won't get in through because this is kind of blocking it. Yeah. And your IOs won't suffer damage from anything hitting them because they usually is, apart from the sound ones, everything else is kind of like indented. Like they don't pop up. The USB, that USB, you have to the connection is actually inside. The PS2, which is kind of outside. I mean, I think the most sort of vulnerable parts would probably be the sound ones, but everything else is probably inside, so it just protects everything from damage and just knocking it across and hurting it. So that's pretty much it, unless they may have some Mission Impossible stuff in there.
What's your advice about people being safe with static electricity?
Real quick before I just do that, shout out to Linus Tech Tips. I get most of my tech information from him. He's probably never gonna see this video, but anyway, it's worth giving credit to somebody who who's helped you out with this. So how he says, maybe I shouldn't quote him because if I get it wrong, then he's gonna be like, what? I did not say that. Okay, so I'm gonna say this. You need to when you're working with static, just make sure you have something that like there's this wristband that he talks about. There's this anti-static sort of wristband that helps you with I don't understand it, to be honest, but all I do know, the safest practice, if you are standing on a carpet, because a carpet is really a no-no, you should not be standing on a carpet. So if you are standing on a carpet like we are, just make sure you have like something metallic that you can earth to, like the way you have negative, positive, and an earth. So you have an earth. So this table crate stuff has some metallic feet, so I can just put my hand or just lean on it, or I can bring over the case here. When we actually going to be putting this into the case, we can put this in. The case is metallic, so the case is earthing me, or I can just have my hand over the power supply, which is basically made for such stuff. Anyway, so
a quick run through of what we've got on the motherboard.
Alright, we got your CMOS battery right there. That keeps computer to just keeps the motherboard understanding itself. It helps just have some power running through, so that at least the computer remembers, oh yes, I am a Gigabyte and I am a GA7.
Okay.
So it's basically just to understand itself. If you take that out and then you put it back into your system, you're gonna see that your time is messed up, your date settings are messed up, some things won't be right, but of course it's still gonna know itself. I was just using that example. So yeah, you can see you got your various things here. You got your multiple SLI connections. You got like the primary one here, which is you can see it's like PCI Express 3.0, which is best. This is the primary one right here. Best thumbs up for the graphics card. You should always put here and then just stack the other ones after. So this is another slot for you to put like graphics cards, which you can see is like, if you can see carefully here, it's like I think this is a 16, this is a 16, this is an 8, and then this is a 4. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a 16 times, this is an 8 times, and this is a 4. So yeah, you can see that like the receptive sort of connections start from somewhere like there. If you can see that, this one starts like there, which is halfway, so that's the That's the 4. That's the 8 times, sorry, and this is the 16, which is all the way. So you want your primary graphics card, the chunkiest one you have, the most powerful one, or if you just have one, put it there. These other PCI slots are like for your network card, sound card, or whatever else you might be running. Also, this you have another one here, which yeah, supports another PCI card that you might have, like a network card or sound card, whatever it is you may have that you want to put it in. Alright, so you have here, right here, cameraman, right here, your RAM slots, color coded to show you that if you have like, maybe you have you only have 2 sticks of maybe 2 or 4 or whatever type of RAM you have, they should be the same. So if you have 2 sticks of the same type of RAM, let's say let me just use an example of 2 GB, although nobody does 2 GB nowadays with this kind of motherboards. Okay, let me say 8 GB then. You have 2 sticks of 8 gig RAM, so coming to a total of 16. So you want to start off with you want to put them in one color. And I've just been told here by a friend of mine here, actually the cameraman here, that he saw a video that when somebody suggests that you should always put them away, from the CPU. So that would be the gray ones. You would want to put one here and then the other one here. They have that key in the middle, which is not quite in the middle, which is great for that because you can't put it the wrong way around. It would only go in one way. So you can't go wrong with RAM. You cannot go wrong with RAM.
So one left is longer than the other, pretty much.
Yeah, one side is longer than the other, and you can't put it in wrong. If you put it wrong, you're gonna break it, and that's probably like 100 pounds wasted. And then you got your CPU socket over here. This is the 1150.
Open it up.
This is 1150. People usually confuse 1150 and 1155. They think 1155 is later than 1150, but actually it's the other way around. 1150 is later than 1155. And just like it's been said on this motherboard's case that it supports 4th generation, so that's yet another hint that this is later than the 1155. Like I said before, I do not remember whether this is Haswell or Ivy Bridge or Sandy Bridge. I'm sure there's somebody in the comment section really laughing at me right now, but yeah, that's just where I am at the moment, and please don't hate. Alright, so we just close that up right now just to be safe and keep that looking good. I'm supposed to go back first and then latch in and then whoops. Alright, so I think that's that. The other parts we went over. We could see all the stickers and whatnot.
Buttons and
we can see this on-off button here. We can see the BIOS switches. We can see the CMOS clearing and the reset button over there. And we can see the USB 3.0 connector over there. That's the one that can charge your mobile phones and whatnot real quick. You can see the debug. Should I call it? I'll just call it debug. Yeah, right there, debug screen. You can see the connectors for your power switch, reset switch, and HD lights. And yeah, the sound and the USB. These are now for like your normal USB 2.0s. So you got like for your front panel or for the back or whatever you want. You know, you can connect if you had like an extra whatever.
Yeah. One thing I like about this case is the way we were talking about a minute ago, how everything is labeled, you know, the way it is, you know, so you won't be stuck there being like, okay, I've got 4 pins, so which is like, you know, for this certain part and stuff like that.
Exactly. So yeah.
Can you go wrong, like putting the wrong 4 pin, but it's the same 4 pin? Or is there different 4 pins for different things, or the same 4 pins for the same thing? Or?
There are like 4 pins, like the ones from the power supply. Or what do you mean?
I don't even know, but anyway, moving on. Okay, yeah, well, yeah. Do you want to talk about the 4-3?
I'll just go over quickly what he said about the 4 pins, just to clarify in case I managed to hit the nail on the head. The 4 pins, you get the 4 pins from your Molex. Those can go into any connection that has like the 4 pins. So the Molex, I mean the Molex is usually going to be whole, like 4 pins and closed in sort of plastic thing, and then you're gonna have to connect it to something that has 4 similar types of yeah, holes. So you can't go wrong with that. It only goes in one way also, so it has a key kind of thing. So I mean, a lot of the stuff nowadays in computing, they've really tried to make it just going one way. You can't get it wrong. You can't make it. You can't make a mistake. You will not. They don't want you to harm your machine because they know you've spent a lot of money on it. Anyway, get into this. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is a north bridge or the south bridge. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm really not sure about that. But you got like that nice pretty Gigabyte printing over there, over that what's it called again? The heatsink. Thank you very much. So we got a heatsink over there, and we got some more heatsink over here for just this general area, because this area gets very hot when the CPU's on and everything is working, and you know, so that's why this is that big and it's ultra durable.
So are we ready to install, or is there anything else we need to know?
We are ready to install, I think, for now. If there's anything we would need to cover, we would cover it as we go on with the installation. So let's get into it.